Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Leslie, better known as A Reseller's Passion, and today I wanted to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. It is unscripted. I just decided to jump in front of the camera and do this. I am by nature an artist, a creative. Before I started reselling and getting into other businesses, I was a creative. I paint, there's a painting behind me, and I draw, I write poetry. I used to journal all the time. Years ago, I learned how to crochet, and when my children were born, I started making their items for them: hats, scarves, mittens, gloves, the whole deal. I've made dresses and sweaters and all kinds of things that I can't even. The year of the Women's March, I made all these cat hats. And so when my children were young, my first business was born, a crochet design business. Here's one of the hats. This is my favorite color. This is actually probably from the same kind of yarn from the Women's March. And I started making things for my kids, and people would say, oh wow, would you make this for my children? Then would you make this for my husband? Would you make this for me? And a little business was born. And believe me, I was truly thankful for that, because I was a stay-at-home mom at that time of 5 children, and I needed that income. Then a few years later, this brand new platform was created called Etsy, and I jumped right on the Etsy bandwagon and started selling on Etsy. And that was, gosh, it's been 10, 12 years ago, and I sold, can't remember when my numbers, I can't even remember my dates, but I did sell for several years up until 2018. And I had to stop crocheting as a business because my carpal tunnel and my arthritis started to act up. So in 2018, I closed my original Etsy store, which was called Surprise Designer, and walked away and just continued to do it as a hobby. Going back again, I've been baking, actually a professional baker. I'm ServSafe certified. Before I met my husband Thomas and moved here to Delaware, I was baking in several cafes in the city of Philadelphia. No, I didn't go to culinary school. I taught myself how to bake. And after staying home with my children for many years, the first job, I took a chance and I applied to be a baker in a cafe in Center City, and they hired me. And then I was hired at another cafe, and then a couple years later I hired at another cafe until I became the head baker, and that's when I met Thomas. Um, so I've been baking, and then while I was baking as a single mom, I'd gone through a divorce. I decided to start a little business. My children were going to like a little Montessori preschool, and a lot of the children had allergies. So instead of creating the baked goods that I created every day at the cafe, and even for my own children, I started to create gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free desserts. And I played around with recipes, and then that business was born, and I had several families that will continue to buy from me until 2012, when I married Thomas and I moved here to Delaware. And I had to give that up because I didn't have the licensing for Delaware, and I couldn't find a job here in Delaware that would pay me what I was used to getting paid. So then I became a lunch lady, working for the state of Delaware with benefits and everything. And the reason that I'm telling you all this is because I want you to truly consider, if you have any type of talent that you are sitting on, consider turning that into a business. You can do it. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple examples. I don't have anything written down. This is just off the top of my head. If you're a musician, you can write music, digital product. If you crochet or knit, patterns. I used to write patterns as well. Create a pattern, drop it onto a platform like Etsy or a website, and set it and forget it. Somebody continually buys the pattern because it may be something unique that you're known for. Sell that pattern. Sometimes you can't keep up with the demand, and sometimes people are only interested in the pattern so they can create it themselves, right? If you're a woodworker and you've been playing around with that for years, create some wood products, sell it on Etsy, sell it on eBay. If you make candles, if you make soap, if you make doggy treats, if you make candy, if it's something that you've been wanting to learn how to do it. I will tell you, here it is, December 28th, 2020. In May of 2020, I decided, you know what, I want to play around with tie-dye. It was a lot going on. COVID was going on strong. The BLM, Black Lives Matter, was going on. And what I usually do is go to my creative side. When things are challenging, I don't go into stress mode. I don't get depressed. I go into let's get creative so that my mind can focus on something else. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there like you, like me who go into creative mood. So I played around, went to Pinterest and got some ideas on how to tie dye. This is one of the shirts I created for myself. I had a vintage Etsy store at the time, so I started making a couple tie-dye things and I said, let me put it on my vintage store. And then I started promoting it. And wow, people started responding and my tie-dye started to sell. Then I said, let me dabble a little bit into bleach items and add that as well. Added those and they started to sell as well. So I said, you know what? I don't want these on my vintage store. How about if I make another store? I'm used to a handmade store. I know Etsy. Etsy is a platform that I know better than any platform before reselling. So in June of 2020, I started a handmade store, a new handmade store called Leslie's Tie-Dye Dreams on Etsy. And my stuff just started selling like crazy. So I'm going to show you like a couple. This is my latest stuff. Like these are for sale now. I'm about to actually list these. This is bleached. And you probably say, why would somebody buy this from me? Not everyone wants to do that. There is a person who can create their own items, but then there's a person who just wants to purchase things, as with anything in life. So you take the opportunity to find something that you can create. Here is a hat from my crochet. Here's a beautiful scarf that I made. These are my personal items because I don't make them a lot anymore because of my hands. I paint, so I've made, I'm not going to show you the whole thing because it's like really big. This is a floor covering. It opens up as a canvas floor covering. And yeah, so I just wanted to give you an idea of some things that you could possibly put together to create a business. Really dig deep and think about it. If you write poetry, you can write a poetry book. If you make thank you cards, if you make stickers, you can do so much. We're sitting on so much knowledge that we don't even think about it. And that's why I decided to pop in real quick and talk to you about it. Take what you know. If you went to school for art and right now you're working in the library or you're a teacher now and you haven't been able to have a creative outlet, now is the time. If not now, when? If not who? If not you, who, right? So definitely sit down, think about what it is you could do, write down a few things, and create a business. It can be done. Etsy is an awesome place for handmade items. You can create a website. I have 2 Shopify stores. You can sell stuff on eBay. I've been selling handmade things on eBay. I just sold a bleach queen shirt. I just sold a tie-dye Madewell turtleneck. So go around your house, and if you want to tie-dye and pull out all the white shirts, if you want to bleach, pull out all the dark, the black and blue and the red, and bleach them and play around with it. If you want to make candles, make candles. Get yourself a little kit. If you want to make soap and you've been wanting to do it, I just bought my daughter a soap kit and we're going to play around with soap. And this kit comes with everything. It comes with labels that you can put on it and packaging. And if we can make that soap great the first couple of times, we're going to open up an Etsy store for her and just see how it goes. You never know. Times are crazy with the government. There are a lot of people losing their jobs. So fall back on something that you can do. If you gave up a skill, if you gave up a hobby, now is the time to pull it out. I mean, dig deep into your head, friends. And I just wanted to share that with you. So hopefully I've given you something to think about, really, really think about as we go into 2021. Think about your finances. Think about your why. Think about if you only need $200 a month, what can you do to make that $200? If you're already reselling, then that's one thing. But if you're already in your office and you're painting and you're drawing and you're using new digital products like Procreate or anything like that, how about trying? You can't fail if you don't try, and you can't succeed if you don't try. So I wish you all the success, and hopefully I've helped you. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or send me a DM at A Reseller's Passion on Instagram. Get out there and be creative, friends.